Collin Troy Bailey, age 28, also known as Mia Bailey, grew up in Everett, Washington. Bailey went to Harry M. Jackson High School and graduated in 2014. Bailey later moved to 357 South 660 East Circle in St. George, Utah. Bailey was born male, and wanted to transition to female. Bailey filed a petition in 5th District Court in July 2023 to legally change his name and gender, according to court records. Bailey was granted both in August 2023, with the court order noting that the petition is supported by clear and convincing objective evidence of appropriate clinical care or treatment for gender transitioning or change, provided by a licensed medical professional, and that there is clear and convincing evidence. Bailey has transitioned to the sex sought in the petition in a consistent and uniform manner for at least 6 months. Bailey's parents, Gail, age 69, and Joseph, age 70, lived at 1039 East Chinook Drive in the city of Washington in southern Utah. Washington is a city in south-central Washington County, Utah. It is a part of the St. George metropolitan area. The city is located nearly 300 miles south-southwest of Utah's capital, Salt Lake City. It has a population of less than 30,000 people. Gail and Joseph married on April 16 in 1978. Joseph was known as Blue. He graduated from LaSalle Gray's River Valley High School, and graduated from Edmonds College. He was a former engineer at American Maritime Officers, and was a chief engineer at U.S. Shipping Corporation. Bailey's brother and his wife lived in the home with their parents. The couple will remain anonymous for privacy concerns. The brother sought a protective order against Bailey last July according to the 5th District Court documents. 3 minor children were listed as co-plaintiffs in the order. Judge John Walton granted the temporary order on July 18. This came just a month after Bailey was granted a legal name and gender change by a court. On October 16 in 2023 the order was dismissed due to both parties coming to a mutual agreement. Judge Walton granted the dismissal without prejudice, allowing it to be refiled at a later date if needed. At approximately 7 p.m. on June 18, 2024, Bailey broke into his parents' home, went upstairs and began shooting his mother multiple times. Bailey's father heard the shots and came running, but there was nothing he could do. He was shot as soon as he entered the room. Bailey shot both parents multiple times, then went downstairs. Bailey's brother and wife heard the shots from their bedroom, and quickly locked the door. Bailey walked downstairs for a moment, then returned back upstairs and shot his father in the head to make sure he was dead. Bailey's mother was making noises, so he shot her in the head too. He then went looking for his brother. However, his brother heard the shots and was able to get into his bedroom with his wife and lock the door. Bailey attempted to shoot his brother through the locked bedroom door before he sped away in his yellow Kia Soul. Bailey's brother and his wife left the home through their window and fled to a neighbor's house where they called 911 for help. The brother told the dispatcher that he believed his parents had been shot upstairs in the home. Police were immediately dispatched to the scene where they found Joseph and Gail deceased from multiple gunshot injuries. Both were pronounced dead at the scene. Police began an intensive investigation as well as a manhunt for 28-year-old Mia Bailey. The suspect was described as armed and dangerous, weighing 130 pounds, 5 foot 10 inches tall, known to wear wigs, and can easily change their appearance. A neighbor's security camera recorded the perpetrator arriving at the home in a yellow 2014 Kia Soul. Officers from Washington County Sheriff's Office, the Washington Police Department, and the Utah Department of Public Safety launched a search for Bailey. An alert was sent out to the St. George community to shelter in place. By the next morning the shelter in place was extended to include residents in Bloomington Hills and Fort Pierce. After several hours on the loose, Bailey was cornered in the St. George neighborhood, about 7 miles from where the murders happened. A containment area was set up by law enforcement. Bailey was able to get away through the darkness and heavy shrubbery holding a gun to his head. When Bailey was spotted again in a neighbor's yard, police began negotiating with the suspect. Eventually they were able to talk Bailey into putting the gun down and surrendering. Bailey told officers that he did not have remorse for his actions and that he would not change what he had done. Bailey stated, "I would do it again. I hate them." Bailey stated that he went to his parents' home with the intention to kill them and his brother. Bailey was booked into Purgatory Correctional Facility and charged with 2 counts of aggravated murder, 1 count of aggravated attempted murder, aggravated burglary, and 7 counts of felony discharge of a firearm. Bailey is being held without bond due to the substantial risk to the surviving victims and the hatred shown, indifference to their lives, and efforts to kill them. Bailey's arrest affidavit says, "Mia is a danger to the community." Mia's actions resulted in the death of both her parents. Mia also attempted to kill her brother, shooting at him through a locked door. Mia openly described her hatred of her brother. Mia also describes strained relationships with multiple other family members. Multiple family members told law enforcement that they were afraid of Mia. These family members all sought alternative lodging for the night to ensure their safety. It also says, Mia admits to throwing her phone out of her car window to avoid being tracked. The phone was recovered close to the scene after a telematic alert notified law enforcement. Mia was also observed by officers near Horseman Park and River Road. Officers gave multiple commands for Mia to stop, but Mia ran on foot. In her interviews, Mia describes jumping fences or walls, hiding in bushes, sleeping in a park bathroom, and other efforts to elude law enforcement. Mia bragged about her ability to avoid efforts of law enforcement to locate her, including evading officers, hiding from helicopters, and hiding from drones. Mia has shown that she is a substantial risk to the surviving victims as indicated by her hatred of them, her indifference to their lives, and her efforts to kill them after killing her parents. This is further indicated by the family's fear of Mia. Bailey's only previous criminal offense was a window tint violation in 2020, and the restraining orders. A next-door neighbor states that Bailey was angry that his parents would not pay for his gender-affirming surgery.
I didn't hear the shots. Our houses are fairly well insulated. And then finally I came out the front door and I'm going, wow, it's right here. The brother and the wife were standing there under police guard. And of course she was very upset, obviously, and crying and sitting on the sidewalk. And he was just like, the look when I can't believe this is happening. My own personal view is that it's almost like this kid, 28 years old, yeah, well, whatever, was maybe influenced by current events to walk in and be so violent. I mean, you had to be kind of at a fever pitch to do something so insane. Obviously, there was friction.
There's some controversy concerning gender-affirming hormone therapy. Some believe hormonal therapy can cause violent and erratic behavior. Utah State Representative Cara Birkeland said, "This might be an unpopular opinion, but I feel strongly that we need to talk about how harmful unnatural hormone concoctions are." She continued saying, "I can only imagine, and I admit, I'm totally speculating, that when taking hormone at the levels and rates in which someone transitioning is taking them, it only magnifies these uncharacteristic and irrational behaviors. This leaves them and those around them at high risk." Kristen Francis is a psychiatrist at the University of Utah, at the Huntsman Health Institute. She has more than 20 years of experience in how hormonal therapy affects mental health. She said, "There is evidence that gender-affirming care for people who are assigned a certain gender at birth and are needing to transition hormonally to their gender, which typically is the opposite, would actually boost mental health and mental well-being." However, several new studies on the effects of testosterone therapy on transgender men assigned as female at birth but identify as men shows that the hormones used during transition has been positively associated with aggression. The studies indicate that those born as female transitioning to male have a higher risk for aggression than those transitioning from female to male. Gender dysphoria is defined as the feeling of distress that comes along when someone's gender differs from their sex assigned at birth. It could cause significant distress in how a person functions in social settings such as school, work or other areas of life. A study found that suicide rates are much higher in individuals in the transgender population. It also found that suicide rates did not decrease or increase at different levels of transitioning. The majority of experts do not regard gender dysphoria as a mental illness. However, it does appear in the Diagnostic and Statistical Manual of Mental Disorders. One does have to take into consideration that alcohol withdrawal, narcolepsy, and sleep apnea is listed as mental disorders as well. Collin Troy Bailey, aka Mia Bailey, wanted to get gender-affirming surgery. Bailey had a deep hatred for his family, especially his parents. Instead of just staying away, he went to their home and murdered them in cold blood. He attempted to do the same to his own brother, but was unsuccessful. Bailey showed no remorse, and even boasted he'd do it again if he could. Allegedly, he was furious when his parents refused to pay for his gender-affirming surgery. We all have the right to live our lives however we see fit. When we expect others to pay for how we want to live, we expect way too much. It's one thing to accept something, but it's far too much to get angry when a parent refuses to pay for a 28-year-old adult's elective surgery. It doesn't matter if it's a facelift, tummy tuck or gender-affirming surgery. It's nobody's responsibility but the one who is wanting the surgery. What would drive someone to kill their own parents? Was Bailey mentally ill? Or was it the gender-affirming drugs? Was Bailey angry that his parents wouldn't pay for his surgery? What do you think? If you or someone you know is depressed, please seek help. You are not alone. That concludes this episode. Keep your eye out for the next volume, coming soon. If you enjoyed this video, consider subscribing. Thanks for watching.